Gak enak.
Paling lucu di pagi hari, Desta, Gina, Kenny. Dengerin DGITM sekarang. Julio, Ilham, Hani. Nah, temen yang cocok nemenin di sore hari. Penyiar buronan KPI, Night Shift, musik banget. Karena semuanya makin seru di Prambors.
Desta dan Gina akan menemanimu Senin sampai Jumat cuma di Prambors. Prambors. Prambors.
Bos. Desta and Gina in the morning with Kenny only on Prambors.
Desta dan Gina akan menemanimu Senin sampai Jumat cuma di Prambors. 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 Prambors.
Desta and Gina in the morning with Kenny only on Prambors.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Shalom, Namo Buddhaya.
Distinguished delegates, good afternoon and welcome to IREC 2020. My name is Chandra.
And I'm Sarah, and we'll be the masters of ceremony of the opening ceremony of IREC 2020.
Yes, Sarah, and do you feel the excitement of all the participants and all of the committees of IREC 2020?
Of course, I can feel the energy here.
Yeah, of course. It's been a long waited by all the participants and also the committees of IREC 2020. And finally, this event has come, and we now are representing here as the master of ceremonies of IREC 2020.
Yes, and today we are here to attend the opening ceremony of IREC. As we know, IREC, or International Relations English Competition, is one of the most prestigious English competition for high school students, which is organized by annually by the students of Department of International Relations, Universitas Gadjah Mada.
And this year's IREC is different from the other IREC that we have all organized before, because this year we are organizing this event virtually, and even though we cannot meet in person, but we are still so grateful to be here.
Of course.
But don't worry, the committees have prepared some exciting programs, and of course, they have been putting a lot of thoughts to bring IREC 2020 alive to all of you. We also appreciate you for taking your time off your schedule to be here, join us in IREC 2020.
And this year, relating to the current pandemic socio-economic issues, IREC brought you the theme Advancing Inclusive and Sustainable Economic Development to Achieve the 2030 Agenda.
This year's IREC has also expanded its horizon by including 4 branches of competitions, which are debate, speech, storytelling, and our newest edition, the newscasting.
Yeah, and for your information, we are very proud to say that this year, IREC has successfully brought 349 participants from all over Indonesia. And also, we have a surprise for you all. Besides the 13 million rupiah as the grand prize, all participants from all branches will have the privilege to join acting scholarships from Laboratory of Acting that is worth 3 million rupiah for each class. And thank you to Kak Eka, the AG of the storytelling.
Yes, Sarah, and we also have to mention that this won't be happening if there wasn't for all the support from all of the sponsors of IREC 2020. Therefore, we would like to thank to Radio Q Jogja and 101.2 FM Rambers Radio, Indonesia #1 hits music station.
And now let's move on to our next agenda. We'll all together hear the welcoming remarks from IREC 2020 President, the head of the Department of Ilmu Hubungan Internasional UGM, and also the representative of the adjudicators.
Check this out.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of IREC 2020's committee, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for all participants who are taking part in our competition. We have been waiting for this day to come since so long, and it is our pleasure to welcome future leaders and agents of change. As IREC always strives to give the best experience for its participants, IREC 2020's committee eagerness did not cease even amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. We are committed to provide the platform for Indonesian students to showcase their talent, enhance their skills and knowledge, as well as to broaden the horizon regardless of their race and circumstances. Citing the opening remarks by the Secretary General of United Nations, Antonio Guterres, at virtual press encounter to launch the report on the socio-economic impacts of COVID-19, the world is facing an unprecedented test, and this is the moment of truth. Hundreds of thousands of people are falling seriously ill from COVID-19, and the disease is spreading exponentially in many places. Societies are in turmoil, and economies are in nosedive. So that we must respond decisively, innovatively, and together to suppress the spread of the virus and address the socio-economic devastation that COVID-19 is causing in all regions. In accordance with our theme, Advancing Inclusive and Sustainable Economic Development to Achieve the 2030 Agenda, everything we do during and after the crisis must be with a strong focus on building more equal, inclusive and sustainable economies and societies that are more resilient in the face of pandemics, climate change, and the many other global challenges we face. With that being said, we really hope the next 3 days will challenge, excite, and inspire you in order to achieve your full potential. Let us begin and unfold the various events waiting, and I wish the best of luck to all of you. Thank you very much.
Hi there. My name is Nur Ahmad Yuliantoro. I'm currently head of the Department of International Relations at Universitas Gadjah Mada. On behalf of the department, I would like to extend my warmest greetings and welcome to all the delegates, speakers, judges and adjudicators of the 2020 International Relations English competition held by COMAHI, the student organization of the department. This year's event is the 8th of its kind, and I understand that it is not only special, but also quite difficult due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite this, I was told by the committee that the event has attracted as many as 350 participants all around the country to develop their English skills as well as to compete with their peers. I would also like to use this opportunity to thank everyone who has fully supported the event, including Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Universitas Gadjah Mada, and all the sponsors. Not to mention the hard-working committee of COMAHI, who have done their best to make this event fun while also academically challenging. I'm proud of you, my dear students. Having said all of this, without further ado, I hereby declare that the 2020 International Relations English competition by COMAHI Universitas Gadjah Mada officially opens. Let's make this event a great success. Let's enjoy it and may the best win. Thank you.
Hi, this is Agnia Dima. I want to welcome you all to the IREC competition 2020. I wish you all good luck and wish you all the best.
Hi everyone, my name is Tirsa Listerani and I'm the coordinator of 2030 Youth Force Indonesia. This time of pandemic has not been easy for us. However, rather than grieving, let's use this time to learn new things, to sharpen our skills and also to broaden our knowledge. And one of it is by joining this competition. So congratulations for you all to make it to this competition. I welcome you all to IREC 2020. Happy competing. Don't forget to learn and earn new things, new experiences along the way. So thank you and see you around.
Hello everyone, my name is Udi. I'm an IREC Jam student batch 2018. I'm gonna be your chief adjudicator of debate IREC 2020. You know, this has been a trying time for all of us because of the quarantine. We've been excluded from our friends, from physical class activities, and all of the things that we previously derive happiness from. Therefore, I want IREC 2020 to be not only a competitive platform where you can show your skill, push yourself to the limit, and strive for the greatness. Because although this is really important for you to claim the champion title in this highly prestigious competition, what is more important is that you can build a sense of community here to make friends with the fellow participants, the LOs, and the adjudicators. So you can truly live memorable experience in this competition. So see you in the next few days and goodbye.
Hi, you must have heard about BTS. They're one of the biggest boy band on earth right now. I myself is a huge fan. They're very well known for their message of love yourself and speak yourself, which is a bit interesting to me because those aren't necessarily new, groundbreaking messages. We've heard about love yourself and speak yourself a lot before. So what makes it so special this time? Of course, it's the BTS themselves. It's the person bringing that message. Fans love them because fans know their story, their background, how they relate to that message. So bring your story, your personality, your background. I'm looking forward for your speeches in IREC 2020. See you there.
Hai partisipan, Aneka seperti ini. Welcome to IREC 2020. Oh God, thank you for your enthusiasm despite current of situations. Keep your spirit up, go forth, and conquer. Okay? I wish you all the best of luck.
Hello everyone, welcome to IREC 2020. I want to thank you for joining this competition amid the pandemic. So please never give up and I wish you the best of luck.
Okay, so distinguished delegates, let's give a round of virtual applause for the video of IREC 2020. And now, let's move to the seminar, which will be taught by our excellent speaker and also moderated by our inspiring friend, Reina Kato, which for your information, is an international relation undergraduate student of the University of Gajah Mada. And she is currently attending the focus study on international politics, economic and development. And now she is also currently working as a part-timer in the Center of World Trade Studies. Reina, are you there? Reina, can you hear me? Hi, Rena. So I cannot wait to attend the seminar of the keynote speakers because all of the keynote speakers are the chosen ones, and of course they are great persons.
And I think it will be like really, really insightful talks that we will be having shortly here.
That's right. And relating to the current theme, I think it will be very insightful for us to attend before all the participants compete with each other.
Yeah.
I think Rena is having a technical purpose, so maybe we can.
I'm sorry. Hello.
Oh, okay. Rena is here.
Can you hear my voice? Hi.
How are
I'm
you?
sorry for technical difficulties. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, you guys.
So the floor is yours, Rena.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Reina, as you can see here in the presentation. And today I will be your moderator for this very interesting and insightful talk on the topic of advancing inclusive and sustainable economic development to achieve the 2030 agenda. This is actually a very interesting topic, especially for us youth as future leaders to make a change as well. And as you know, today we will have two amazing keynote speakers, which are Kadima and Kasasa. So let me introduce you guys to the speakers. So this is Agnia Dima. She is the project officer of Sustainable Development Financing at UNDP Indonesia, and she is a bachelor, have a bachelor in public health from University of Indonesia, focusing on epidemiology, and also innovative financing lab unit in UNDP, focusing in gender and climate finance, as well as also worked as a co-founder of Track Project, a program that distributes APD to 40 puskesmas and hospitals in Java. And the next speaker is Kasta, or known as, her name is Tirza Listriarani, or known as Kasasa. She is the coordinator of Youth Force Indonesia. She has a master's. She's a master's student of international relation from Universitas Indonesia, as well as have worked in growth and community engagement intern at Amnesty Indonesia, International Indonesia. So without further ado, let's start this talk with Kak Agnia Dima.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Reina.
Thank you for all the committees for inviting me. So my name is Agnia Dima. I'm usually called Dima. I'm currently working in UNDP Indonesia, as introduced by Reina before. So what I want to share to you guys today is about the Sustainable Development Goals and also about the sustainable economic development. So can we start? Next slide, please. Okay, so I am confident that you all already know about the Sustainable Development Goals. These are the 17 goals that we're aiming to achieve by the year 2030. And today, progress is already been made in many places. But overall, action to meet the goals is not yet advancing at the speed that we require. 2020 needs to be the year where we need to accelerate our ambitious action to deliver the goals by 2030. So 2020 is the year that we call the start to decade of action. So this last 10 years calls for accelerating sustainable solutions to all the world's biggest challenges, ranging from poverty, gender, climate change, inequality, and closing the financing gap. So in September 2019, the UN Secretary General called on all sectors of society to mobilize for a decade of action on three levels: global action, local action, and also people action. So we want everyone to take part in achieving these sustainable development goals by year 2030. Next slide. Yes, so this is the quote from our UN Secretary General, from Mr. Antonio Guterres. So everything we do during and after this crisis must be with strong focus on building more equal, inclusive, and sustainable economies and societies that are more resilient in the face of pandemics, climate change, and many other global challenges we face. So this pandemic is actually a wake-up call for all of us to really refocusing on our targets, to really realign our action to contribute to achieve the sustainable development goals. Next. Yeah, so I want to show you guys. So these are the latest data from United Nations, that these are the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic to all aspects of SDGs. So the examples is first is about the poverty. So more than 71 million people are pushed into extreme poverty in 2020. And COVID-19 has caused the first increase in global poverty in decades. Although before this pandemic, we actually have made certain developments in decreasing the poverty, but this pandemic really changes it all. So, and then next one is about the inequalities, especially in education. So most of children in low-income countries, the completion rate is decreasing. About 34% in poorest 20% of households, and also 79% in richest of 20% in households. And also healthcare disruptions. This pandemic made everyone is really overwhelmed, even the healthcare institutions. And this has reversed decades of improvement that we have made before. And hundreds of thousands of additional under 5 deaths is expected to happen in 2020 because the decrease in vaccination and immunization and all other progress we have made in healthcare. And also, these lockdowns that we are experiencing is actually increasing the risk of violence against women and girls. And it can happen physically, sexually, or psychologically to all the women and girls who are stuck at home with their family, and they're more vulnerable to the intimate partner violence, domestic violence, and these are increased by 30% in some countries all over the world. And also the climate crisis. Don't forget, guys, so we still have climate crisis in our face during this pandemic. We also have the challenges of the climate change. So 2019 was actually the second warmest year on record the Earth ever has experienced. So the global temperature are projected to rise by up to 3.2 degrees Celsius by 2100. So the climate crisis is still in the face of all of us, and to hear that the 2019 is actually the second warmest year in record, this actually made us realize that we are this close to experiencing the global warming. The global warming is actually already happening right now as we speak. And also the last one is also the financing for small scale industry. So a lot of micro, small, medium entrepreneurs and also the small scale industries, they only have 35% of them have access to credit in developing countries. This makes them more vulnerable to the economic recession, and also in contributing to the country's economy. So these are the challenges that we are currently facing in the face of COVID-19 all over the world. Next. Yeah, since our topic today is about sustainable economic development, so I want to show you specifically about the economic growth. So before COVID-19, the global economic growth was actually already slowing down. So since 2010 to 2018, the GDP per capita growth is only 2% on average scale. And also in 2019, the GDP per capita growth is only 1.5%. So there's not actually growing economics all over the world just before COVID-19, but these COVID-19 implications made the world face the worst economic recession ever since the Great Depression. So the GDP per capita is expected to decline by 4.2% in 2020. And sorry, can you go back to the previous slide? Yes. This was what I was talking about. So the GDP per capita is expected to decline by 4.2% in 2020. And during the pandemic, 1.6 billion workers in the informal economy risk losing their livelihoods because there's a lot of layoff in all kind of industries, especially in informal sectors. A lot of labor forces being laid off because the pandemic. And also COVID-19 could cause the equivalent of 400 million job losses in the second quarter of 2020. So in Indonesia, the Minister of Finance already predict that Indonesia will face recession, and we're actually currently experiencing it. So the contraction of economy in this third quarter of 2020 is amounted to 0.5% to 2%. So we're already in the barriers of recession. So what can we do? These are the questions that must be in your mind. So in this next slide, please. Yeah. I want to show you that there are still chances to make sure that we achieve this sustainable economic development for the SDGs with balancing between the economic growth, social, and also environmental needs. So in the graph at the right hand of your screen, you can see that the doing sustainable businesses is meaning you have to balance between the people, profit, and also the planet. So the the sustainability needs to take care of the people, equity, education, health, well-being, quality of life, and also planet by ensuring environmental safeguards and also protecting natural resources, water and air quality, energy conservation, and also we're still doing it all, and also generating profit. We can still get economic growth by ensuring to take care of the people and the planet. I mean, it's not like you choose one and then you lose the others, but you can actually balance it all. And this is actually what we call ESG framework, an environmental social governance framework for businesses. So some ideas. Green economy is one of the option. We can choose to make a national economic recovery more green by ensuring green energy, clean energy by using renewables energy other than coals, other than some brown energy, and also we can ensure green infrastructure to support sustainable transports, and also we can support green jobs for all of us youth. We can choose actually to have our career in green jobs pathway. So we choose career that is in sustainable businesses that comply to those ESG provisions. And also the next one, other than the green economy, we have to ensure social protection for all. This pandemic really show us that social protection is really needs to be a priority from our government, because when we all lose our jobs, the education being stalled, all we can do is providing social protection for all populations in Indonesia. So these are the things that we need to think more in the future, and also to ensure gender equality. Gender equality, whether it's in workforce, education, participation in decision making, whether it's in households or whether it's in the education environment, or also in the workforce itself. So decision making also can start at home. How equal is between the woman and man in household in decision making, it also can decrease the amount of domestic violence that occurred at home. That's what we need to consider as well. And also, Indonesia actually has one of the most amount of young people in the world. We have reached our demographic dividend, so we can actually leverage untapped potential in youth. So young people in Indonesia is a lot, and all of you are here as youth of Indonesia who wants to do something for our nations. We can actually leverage all of our potential by what, by doing by attaining quality education, by attaining decent jobs, and you can all ensure you can contribute to the sustainable development goals too. And also, we need to ensure inclusive economy for every marginalized groups, because there are some groups that we left out in this economy. For example, the indigenous people, the people with disabilities. Like, we need to think of them more often in achieving the inclusive economy. And also, the last one is what I have mentioned before: the sustainable businesses. So we want to make sure that all businesses, all industries are complying to these environmental social governance principles by upholding labor rights, and also ensuring fair and equal pay for both women and men. So these are the things that I want to show you, but just some ideas, so you can maybe take a look more in the future, and also become your resources. What kind of ideas that you can actually do for the SDGs? And then the next slide, please. Yeah, so this is actually my last slide. So I want to show you that these are the principles for sustainable businesses that we have seen from the UN Global Compact. So UN Global Compact has provided us with these 10 principles. So we can ensure that businesses, whatever sectors they are in, they are still complying to human rights, labor standards, environment, and anti-corruption. So these are actually the pillars of what making our economic growth is sustainable and inclusive for all. Next. Yeah, so I believe it's your turn to be the solution. I believe in all of you by making yourself more knowledgeable about this issue, by making yourself more active, like joining competition like this to share a perspective with other people, like debating competition, speech competition. I believe it's a really great start for you to really understand the goals, and I believe you can all be the solution for the sustainable development goals. Yeah, I believe. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to the Q&A session. Back to you, Reina.
Thank you so much, Kadima. It's a very insightful information that we got. If I may summarize, um, there are a lot of challenges that we're facing now in the pandemic, especially through all of the progress that the SDGs have made, including for women and girls, as well as the climate crisis that we're still facing up until now, as well as the most seen in this world is job losses, as well as the slowing down of the economic growth. But Kadima has also mentioned that there are a lot of things that we can do as well, from by balancing the things, three things from the SDGs, which are the planet, people, as well as profit. Yeah, so for you guys, if you want to have a question for Kadima, you may put it in the chat box. Write your name, underscore for who, for Kadima, or later on for Kasasa, as well as the question. But we will discuss it later at the end of this keynote speaker session. So without further ado, Kasasa, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, it's your turn now.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. Can you see my video, Reina? Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So hi everyone. Can I start, Reina?
Yes, sure, Kak.
Oh, yeah.
It's all yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Tirza, but you can just call me Sasa. I'm the coordinator of 2030 Youth Force Indonesia. So today I will deliver a sharing session more on youth and SDGs. I think it's quite different with what Dima have explained, but before we're going to the sharing session, I would like to play a little game, a little survey for you guys. I will share my screen probably. The committee, would you please give me access to share my screen? Okay. Okay, guys, so you can go to menti.com and you can put the code 8045166. So, yeah. So you guys won't get sleepy at this time around. You can go to menti.com and use the code 8045166. Okay, there's one person. Oh, from Surabaya. Hi, Surabaya. I love nasi bebek. Bukit Tinggi, Bandung. It's a beauty of online event though. We met a lot of friends from all over Indonesia. Oke, Semarang, Cilegon, Yogyakarta, Garut, Tangerang, Batu, Bali. Okay. Wow. It's very diverse though. Okay. Okay. Lampung, Palembang, Surakarta, Bekasi with triple I. Denpasar. Wow, it's very diverse, guys. Mojokerto. Okay. Okay. Medan, Karitabona is the best. I've been there. Samarinda, Batam, Kediri. Okay. Okay, because I have limited time, I have to go to the next question, guys. But thank you for joining. I have the second question. Wait. So, before you join IREC, have you ever heard about SDGs? So, yes. Okay, someone never heard about it. Oh, there's an SDGs expert. Okay. It's good to know. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Wow, there's a tie between never heard and have heard. Okay. 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 Wow. We have 4 SDGs expert here. Probably you guys have to help me to answer the questions later. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. 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 Oh, okay. Overall, most of the people have heard about it, but also half, like almost all the people never heard about it. Okay, got it. Okay, let's move to the next question. Youth is, please give me one word that explains youth. Probably you can say creative, innovative, freedom, that's correct. Agent of change, okay. I think you're the part of who master SDGs. Okay. Golden generation, the future leader, energetic, crucial. Okay. Oh, you guys are very creative though, with all the wordings. Yeah. Okay. I can even read. Um, okay. Cool. Hope. That's true. Hope. Powerful. Investment. Wow, that's a word. Investment. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the participation, guys. Yeah. Now you quite awake, right? At this time of moment. Okay. Let's move to the sharing session. I will close this. Okay. Would you please go to the presentation? The committee. The committee, would you please give the presentation? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, my name is Tirza again. So I'm from the Data Youth Force Indonesia. Next. Next. Okay, so you can see this picture is a picture of satellite taken from satellite seeing Indonesia at night. So if you want to see, most of the lights were located on Java Island. So I want you to see by I want you guys to understand SDGs by seeing this picture. Means that the development is not happening in even all over Indonesia. There's still a huge development happen only in Java Island. That's why we have to understood that we need SDGs and we need to together work for SDGs. Also, if you want to relate to the personal life, for example, I take the point of SDGs number 5 about gender equality. So back then when I finished my bachelor degree and I work as a teacher and then I want to continue my study, people surrounding me, they were telling me that you're just a girl, you don't need to have a higher education, you will only end up as a housewife, why you should go and pursue a higher education. I hope most of the girls here won't feel the same or won't get the same treatment, but that's how I felt. There's a gap of gender equality there, especially for the women. Also, by this, I want you guys to understand that the agenda of SDGs was not meant only for the UN. It's not only meant for the government. It's not only meant for NGOs, but it also meant for us because we experience SDGs. We experience the problems within the SDGs. The climate change, the gender equality, the decent work and economic growth. We felt everything. So that's why we need to work together in achieving SDGs. Next. So there are two questions raised by the committee for me. The first question is why SDGs are important to youth. Uh, for that matter, I want to explain in 2 points. First, that you are 2030. So basically, did you guys know that 1.2 billion population in the world consisted of young people aging from 15 to 24? And if you want to see in Indonesian case, one out of four people in Indonesia are young people. So basically, we have like 64 million young people here only in Indonesia, and it's a very good news. We are a bonus demography, but then the question is whether this bonus demography will be beneficial for Indonesia or not. Jokowi ever mentioned that in 2030, Indonesia will be at the golden age, the golden year, where all you guys who's like 15 and 16 this year, in 2030, you guys will be like me, 25 or 26, you're going to start your career. And therefore, these SDGs were meant for you guys. You guys are the destinations. You guys are the purpose of SDGs themselves. And that's why it's making you as an important actor for achieving these SDGs, because you guys will benefit from the SDGs themselves in 2030. Also, the second point is that youth is for SDGs. If you guys ever learn, probably the four people that mentioned, you guys are the master of SDGs. Probably you ever heard about Millennium Development Goals in 2000 before SDGs. It's very elitic. It's very focusing on the government themselves, and it was very different with SDGs, where SDGs demanding for partnerships. Especially, you can see in point number 17, it talks about partnership. So I think it's very important for you guys to also be involved and taking part in SDGs. And in 2013, before the making of SDGs in 2015, the UN have a special discussion with young people regarding SDGs in UN Major Group for Children and Youth, if you ever heard that. And it is proven also that youth is very important for SDGs, seeing that there's a lot of youth program given by the UN, like UN Youth Envoy, if you ever heard. And then probably Dima came from Youth Advisory Panel from UNFPA. Also, during my thesis, we also have the resolution in UN Security, which is probably here the student of UGM knows that UNSC's resolutions is the highest resolution within the UN. And we have it as a youth become the main actor in resolution 2250 on youth and peace building. So that's why SDGs are very important to young people, because it's very related to our life, and we are going to be the beneficiaries, and we are the main actors. Okay, next. Okay, so I will give you an explanation of youth roles in SDGs, but to make you guys remember what I'm going to talk about today, I will make a movement. So first, what is the youth role in SDGs is implement. This is implement, like you just doing something, is implementing. Well, basically, if you go to the next slide. Next slide. I don't know, have you ever heard about this one? The Lazy Person's Guide to Saving the World. This is how you guys, even the most laziest person in this world, could be contributing to SDGs. You can check it on internet. It's from UNDP, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. There's Sofa Superstar. Like, you can just watch the TV while you supporting the SDGs. Like, Um, for example, you turn off the TV when you don't watch it, you are contributing to SDGs. So like household hero, probably you reduce the use of plastics, then you are also saving the world by supporting SDGs. So I think it's very important for you guys. You cannot have any reason for you not to joining SDGs, because even the lazy person can save the world. So okay, go back to the previous slide. Previous slide. Okay, so the first is implement. Implement means, yeah, basically implementing the SDGs, starting from what you can do in the meantime, what you can do in your daily life. That's what I meant by implement. The next one is mobilize, like this is mobilize. So mobilize, basically after you understand and you implement it yourself, then you mobilize others to do the same. Like for example, youth, you have a great access to social media, then you can, for example, you promote gender equality, probably you can talk about gender equality. When a lot of my friends, young people, they're high schoolers, they promote gender equality through social media. Also, I know someone who make a raising awareness on gender equality. They sell products, merchandise, and they give it back to the society through the profit. So I think you guys, as a young people, you have a very creative idea on how you can mobilize others to do the same. And don't forget, the key is collaboration. I know some of you probably joining an organization that also contribute to SDGs. Don't forget, you guys not only mobilizing others to do the same, but you guys also have to collaborate with other young people in achieving it. And the last thing is this one. This is advocate. So you are not only the implementer, you are not only the mobilizer, but you also the advocates. You need to be the watchdog for the government. If government do something wrong, then you have to speak up for it in a good way, in a diplomatic way. Also, you have to advocate for youth meaningful participations, and also be involved in decision-making processes. Okay, next. Next. Okay, well, since you cannot see the presentation, but well, basically in Youth Force, I want to introduce a little bit about Youth Force. We're an organization that mobilize young people to contribute to SDGs and to work for SDGs. If you want to see our programs, you can check our Instagram at Youth Force ID. You can join also our programs and probably joining us one day. So I have a last quote that is written on the presentation. Would the committee please show the presentation? Okay, well, okay, I have to close it with a statement. Nothing about youth without youth is for youth. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you. Go back to you, Reina.
Thank you, Kasasa. It's very, very, very interesting topic to be discussed because us as youth, later on for the 2030 agenda, we will be the one that's probably running the world. And it is interesting for us to, yeah, it is interesting for us to actually look deeper towards the SDG itself. And as youth, we could do the three things that has been mentioned by Kasasa: implementing it, mobilize it, as well as advocate it. I mean, it's for our future as well. Yeah. So thank you so much, Kasasa, as well as Kadima. Now we're going to go into the Q&A session. So for anyone that would like to ask, you may ask questions in the chat box with the format of your name underscore the speaker you would like to refer to, as well as the questions. So Anyone? Oh, there's one question for Kadima. Kadima, are you here?
Yes, hello.
So the question is, this is from Muhammad Abgi Firdaus. According to your opinion, what's the best solution to solve inequality problem? Inequality problem education during the pandemic. Because it's all about online learning and stuff. So what do you think?
Yes, that's actually a really great question from Muhammad Abgi Firdaus. Hello there. So yeah, what we have seen that our country is really struggling, yeah, with the online learning, and there's a lot of inequalities. Like maybe all of you here are very privileged. You can have internet. You can access laptop, for example. You can access your smartphone. You can even join competition like this. But there are so many young people in Indonesia, so many children that are do not have access currently to the internet. They have to take credits to buy any laptops, any smartphone. They have to take financial support just to buy it, and this is really show us that digital infrastructure is really the key to address this solution. And also, but what I want to point out is not only the infrastructure, like you can provide internet for all, for the everybody to access online learning, or give free smartphones for all. But what I want you to understand is it's more than that. You have to really train the teachers. Teaching in online learning is really different by teaching in classroom, in the normal classroom. Like you have must experience it, right, in your high school. Now you're currently studying. It's really different. Like some teachers are very engaging, they are very creative in making curriculum, but there are some teachers that are just like giving modules and ask their students to just read some modules, or just filling out some exercise. And what we really need is really a support for the teacher, so they can train as effective, and also give an engaging experience that is, if not equal, but similar at least to the usual classroom that we have previous to this pandemic. And this can be a challenge for us all, and we hope that in the future there will be more training about this. And um, we hope that the digital transformation is also will go further in Indonesia by the infrastructure, the online, so it become equal for all, not only people in Java Island, not only people in big cities who can access internet, but also children in rural areas as well. And also, I have to say this. I actually have to say this before any of my presentation of questions, or answering question. I have to tell you that I'm not speaking on behalf of any organization, so please don't quote any of my answers as UNDP. But this is my personal opinion, and I hope I can discuss with you all about this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Kadima. So there's another question, two actually, for Kadima. So the first one is, you said at the end of your speech that we are the youth as the solution of any problem that happens in Indonesia. So this is from Praventiasari. Um, ask that how to start, I mean, as us youth, to be the solution of any problem that happens in Indonesia, and what is the good step to start the changes as the youth going?
Okay.
Sorry.
Who is the question from? Praventiasari.
Tiasari.
Yeah. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
Praventiasari. So, thank you for your question. How to start? Yeah. Based on my experience, I think even in high school, I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys. Like I never join any. I have actually joined a debate competition, but I lose. So like you guys here are are really like advanced kind of youth. Yeah, that I know. I'm really proud of you guys. You're still joining a competition during this pandemic, and that is one of the key evidence that you guys are the key to our solution. Like you can actually adapt to this kind of pandemic, like the way you adapt, the way you still engage in this competition in online class learning that you have mentioned before, you actually adapt to this really change, a transformational change in the world, and you can actually adapt. And this is actually why I really trust in you guys in changing our future, because you actually have the power, starting from yourself first. So I always believe that starting from yourself first, changing your lifestyle. For example, you want to contribute something to mitigate the climate change, like you can start from yourself. Maybe tribes using, of course, in not in this lockdown period, yeah, but like using public transportation for your daily life, like also reducing your usage of plastic bags. Some cities already implemented, and also doing zero waste lifestyle, like or as simple as during this pandemic, maybe decreasing the energy usage in your home, like just turning off the electricity that you don't need in your home, and also maybe try some little urban farming maybe in your backyard. You can actually do quite a lot in this situation, and um, you can start that first, but then the next step, you can also join organization, like for example 2030 youth force here. Sasa here is the lead of the 2030 youth force, and I'm actually part of 2030 youth force back then before I joined UNDP. So like by really engaging with youth organizations, like 2030 youth force, or maybe some organization like youth advisory panel of UNFP, or some other communities that you already have in your schools, you can actually take action by just starting the conversation. I saw in the survey earlier that you guys actually haven't heard at all about the SDGs. So this is really shows the gap, like the knowledge that we are trying to give to youth, but the survey shows that you guys haven't heard of SDGs at all. So this is the gap, and I hope from you all of you who already joined this webinar, this short webinar, I hope you can give some knowledge to your fellow students, to your friends, like what is SDGs, and do you know we actually have some goals that we have to attain by 2030, like as simple as that. Like you can start by sharing information, responsible information, of course, and to your peers. You already contributing towards the SDGs. So just start small, but your impact is actually big. Once you already start by doing small. I think that's my answer. Thank you,
Thank you,
Praventia
Kak
Sari,
Dima.
for the question.
So there is a question for Kasasa. This is from Jennifer Renata.
Okay.
Kasasa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So the question is, according to you, how youth can understand SDGs and what is the importance to know about SDGs?
Okay. So, well, honestly, the first time I heard about SDGs is when I take my bachelor in international relations. I believe that every international relations students know about what is SDGs, but then I tried to understand it more when I joined Tondela Youth Force Indonesia, and I learned from them, from the people in youth force a lot. But then how can you understand SDGs basically, since everything is now online? Basically, you can find a lot of sources. You can find from Bapenas, there's targets every I don't know, every year I think they make a report on it. Also the UN, they have reports on that. So I think you need to check and be active in finding informations about SDGs online, because it's now all open to through online platforms. Also, you can join a lot of classes and competitions, like Dima also mentioned before. Like you join this competition today is part of you understanding SDGs. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, but um, just making sure that you have the curiosity and also the willingness to learn. I think it's very easy to understand SDGs because we can get a lot of sources. And what is the importance to know about SDGs? Like I've mentioned before in my sharing session, well, basically, we are the purpose of the global agenda. We are the purpose of SDGs, and you guys will get the benefits in 2030 because by 2030 you guys will be the, like Rena say, you guys will be the leaders. You guys will be the people who take in the world. So it is important for you guys to know and to be taking part in SDGs. So I think that's from Rena.
There's another question for Kasava here. I think this is interesting. Talking from Desak Safitri, talking about sustainability during this pandemic, the amount of plastic consumption has risen. So, how do we combat this? And do you think that the government can help with this issue?
Okay, I think this is an interesting question, and it's quite tricky though. But about regarding the plastic consumptions, I think instead of we complain to the government, let's just start it with ourselves. Like if you guys still using like a medical mask when you don't actually need it, then you can use the cloth mask that is more environmental friendly. So I suggest it start from us, especially if you went to the restaurant instead of taking like plastic spoons, because nowadays like restaurants they avoid using non-plastic utensils. Just bring your own. So always start with yourself. And do you think that the government can help with this issue? I think, from my perspective, I think the government is also working on this issue, but seeing that a lot of priorities should be taken at this time, I think the government is more focusing on the health and economic sector. So, yeah, well, probably government can take part, but let's just take our part for this time.
Okay, so Kasasa, this is actually interesting as well. This is from Ida Ayu Purnama Novanka Larasati. Okay, so the question is, what's it like being a part of the Youth Force Indonesia? It seems very interesting and it needs to take part on changing the future for the better.
Okay, so hi Ida. So yeah, it's very interesting. I've been in Youth Force since 2017, so it's my third year here in Youth Force. Because Youth Force use a lot of creative ideas, creative approaches. So if you check on our YouTube, we have SDG song, SDGs flash mob, and then we create a lot of events with young people. So yeah, it's very interesting. But basically, what we do in Youth Force is we gather young people. There are three agendas that we're doing. First, we are raising awareness. So we raise awareness about SDGs to young people. We told them and mobilize them to join the movement. And then we also do capacity buildings. So we held a lot of classes. Probably one day you can join the classes. On April, we make a Kita 2030 class. We give capacity building on SDGs, on organizational management, and then on digital campaign. Yeah, that's some of the things that we did in Youth Force. But not mentioning, we also work with the UN. We also work with the government. Last year, we worked with Kantor Staf Presiden, and then we went to several cities in Indonesia, to Medan, to Riau, to Pontianak, to even to Papua, to Jayapura and Sorong, and we meet a lot of young people, and we discuss on how can youth contribute more to SDGs. So yeah, it's very interesting and fun. If you want to join, you can check our social media too.
Thank you, Kasasa. Next, we have two questions for Kadima. I think it's related to one another. So this is about the first one is from Claudio Stefano Mirandika. Um, the question is, do we need a bigger government to solve many of the issues regarding our infrastructure and education, or leave it to the market to solve many of the problems? The second one is the opinion about schools in Indonesia not promoting or spreading more awareness about SDGs as they should. Because as we seen just now, there are a lot of people, all of high schoolers here who doesn't know about SDGs. So Kadima?
Okay, sorry, I don't quite follow the first question. What does the bigger government mean? Sorry if I kind of miss it.
Do we need a bigger government to solve it? Maybe I'm not sure about bigger. Maybe more. I think capable as well in
I
this
see. Okay.
condition. Yeah.
Okay, so to address the achievement of SDGs and also to address this pandemic as well, perhaps, yeah. So, yeah. Well, I think the work of our government is also really depends on our contribution as well as a citizen, because we cannot leave it out to the government as well. I mean, this is also a new situation for them, as is it. It is new to all of us as well. So, what I'm trying to put it is this way. So we all have this. We all have contribution for the sustainable development goals and also the quality education, and also about the SDGs. I don't think any school is obligated to share about the SDGs. I don't know what are your curriculum now in school. I don't know if it's teaching SDGs or not, but like those information you can actually access it on your on internet. I mean, you all have smartphones, of course, in your hands. You all have computers. You have internet at your hands, and you can actually find out through the internet as well. And also, I mean, maybe the gap is because from what I've seen, the national government like Bapenas and also the Bapeda is already like distributing this kind of information. Also, 2030 Force is supporting a great amount of it, like to make sure you are all aware of the SDGs. But what I'm trying to tell you is not to focus on the branding. SDGs is actually a goal, just a set of goals. But what we are doing in our daily life is actually all contributing to SDGs, without actually branding it SDGs. So you don't need to worry about the branding, but what you can do yet that you think it's better for the planet is actually very good for achieving the SDGs. And what I want to tell you, of course, that we all can contribute to to be the solutions, not only depending on the government. Yeah, I don't know if it answers your question because I got lost. But if I may, I also saw this question about the having job losses and no backup job during this pandemic. I want to tell you about, this is really big problem here in Indonesia and also in other countries. Not only Indonesia that is experiencing this kind of job losses. That's why I'm uh, we as UNDP is developing a study called a social protection. So this kind of social protection actually can help people who lose their jobs. So it's kind of incentive that we can give them monthly. Actually, I saw in the news that there's one province in Korea, Gyeonggi, is implementing this universal basic income. So it's kind of a social protection for everyone above 18 years old. So everyone from poor to rich, they can access that funding, that incentives, so they can provide their daily needs like food, education. So there will be less stress, less burden on them, and they're not as much burden as people who lose their jobs without social protection. And of course, with social protection, you can also have health insurance. That health insurance is very, very key during this pandemic time. So I think that's also one of the solution, but we need to make more of study of that as well, because there are 200 million, more than 200 million people in Indonesia. Like, how can you disperse equally to all of them? That there's a lot of study has to be made, but there's an option for that. So when this kind of lockdown, people are losing their jobs and you cannot sell on the street. Um, I see this kind of phenomena when people are transforming their business into digital business. Maybe not everyone have access to that, but I see people that making online shops, maybe to adapt to this kind of pandemic. There are a lot of ways for you to adapt during this layoff, and during the pandemic. You cannot sell something on the street. You can move to digital platform. Of course, not everyone, again, not everyone have access to it, and there's also a problem for us all to solve. I think that's from my perspective.
Thank you, Kadima. So, as you mentioned about moving to a more digitalized platform, so there's this question from Tabita Afifa Febianisa. The question is about privilege. So, do you think privilege matters in the contribution of SDGs?
Matters as in
like, I believe maybe how the idea of privilege affects SDGs, maybe for the people that doesn't have those kinds of privileges in this to contribute in the SDGs.
I see. Yeah. I mean, acknowledging our privilege is the key. That's why you can contribute more towards achieving SDGs. Maybe for the more than the less fortunate people around you, and that's why we make this set of goals. I mean, if you see the set of goals, number one, we want no poverty. Number two, we want quality education. I mean, those kind of goals, we are actually targeting those less than fortunate people. So by by this, if all the privileged people in Indonesia are contributing to SDGs, we can actually help the less fortunate ones. So you can see it like from that kind of perspective. The privileged one can contribute more, and that's why you can help bring others up and reducing the gap. As the result, gap in inequalities. That's the result of, because you're already contributing to the SDGs as the privileged ones. It's all about helping hands, helping one another to be in the same standards, in the same like level, to make sure those who are lower than uh, the normal, the should be equalities in Indonesia. Like, for example, in quality of education, there are people who are not attending school anymore. How you can help them to like back on track to can actually access school again, like that is how you can see contributing to SDGs from that perspective. And you all have a very bright future ahead of you, and I'm sure you can all be our advocates for our future. I'm not just saying this like because I'm also I'm from the UN. I want to reach out to young people, but I actually believe it personally, because like I believe that young people, you have so much ahead of you. You can choose a career that help others. You can choose a career that is in green jobs that I mentioned earlier, a green career pathway that actually contributing to reducing carbon emissions. Like, you all already have so much in front of you, and I'm very excited that you already want to know from this stage, like from you are high schoolers but you want to know about SDGs. I mean, that's a great start. So yeah, I mean, it's okay not to worry about the other problems, but you can focus on yourself, how you can contribute by from yourself and from your community first. I mean, yeah, we can see this from the positive. perspective. Yeah, I think that's for me.
Thank you, Kadima. So there's another question for Kasasa. This is from Ataya Tasha. The question is, uh, I'm sure all of us here already has plenty of resources to find out about SDGs, actions or movements towards these days modern issues. But what I still struggle to find is how do you really contribute as youth to solve the problems regarding social and environmental issues revolving around our country now? I get that making small steps like giving speeches and more are helping, but does it really make any difference, Kasasa?
Okay. All right. Hi, Ataya. So I think first of all, it's very interesting that you are taking environment issues very seriously. Um, wait. Okay. The question that you raise is, uh, I get that making small steps like giving speeches at the ETC are helping, but does it really make any difference? Well, basically, what makes a difference is first you take you do something by yourself. It always start with yourself. I will never be bored in saying that you have to start with yourself, especially regarding the environment. So if you don't live what you speak, then it's useless. So you have to first do something, implement that to your daily life, and then you can tell people to do the same. It doesn't have to be like very focal in a way. You go to Instagram and say like, you guys please don't use plastic, something like that. But you can start a little by little, taking baby steps, like from your friends, from your family. I always tell my mom, like for example, if you don't need plastics, then don't use it. Like you can use like um, um, Tupperware or something like that, then use it. Don't use plastic. And the question is whether it makes any difference. Of course, it makes a difference, but we always think about a very big goals, like we want to eliminate like plastics. That's a very big goal. So don't be focusing more on that big goals, but let's just start with these baby steps and doing what we can do. If we can talk to our friends, then talk to our friends. If we can use our social media, then use our social media. So yeah, it's very cliche, but that's the real thing, that you have to live what you speak, and you have to also speak to others, so others can do the same. So well, that's in my opinion.
Thank you, Kasasa. So, due to time constraints, I only have one more question here from Muhammad Kehata. The question is for both stickers, so Kadima or Kasasa, you may answer. The question is, there are too many goals that we should achieve in 2030. Aren't we too ambitious about changing the world into a better place with those many goals and with only 10 years left to achieve? So, Kadima or Kasasa, you may answer the question.
Dima, you can go first.
um, Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
Yes,
I think
sure,
it's tough
sure.
one.
Um, so, oh, I'm sorry.
There are too many goals.
There
Too
are a
many
lot
goals,
of
yeah.
goals to achieve in 2030. So in 10
Yeah, yeah,
years, do you think that we can achieve that? Or yeah, maybe the question is like that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things, progress that should be made. But I'm quite optimistic. I mean, there's 10 years left, and if you see the website from the UN, we can actually track the progress from each countries. You can take a look there. There's an infographic that can show you what is Indonesia is doing as well. So maybe if not actually achieving the 100% of the targets, but at least we're on the way. And that's why I'm so optimistic, like because we are, at least we're moving through the to the right way, because at least we're not negative, at least we're not negatively decrease all of the progress that we have made before. So yeah, I think we have to be optimistic about it. And again, these are on, if I may say, it's only goals, and I mean, the goals can be extended, and of course, it has to always be extended because that is our perfect future. What we want, if we're achieving the 17 goals of SDGs, that is our perfect future. I mean, so if we cannot reach it by 2030, well, you bet we're gonna extend it to another year. I mean, like, what's the problem? We have to achieve that no matter what. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of perspective from me. So maybe if I may conclude from my side, if you guys, I see that you guys are really interested in contributing to SDGs. What can we do? What can we do? So I want to promote as well our work in UNDP that is for youth. So we're actually going to have this hackathon event. So this hackathon is we're trying to make a competition for youth to make solutions, ideas about how to contribute to the SDGs. You can check out at our Instagram at Innovative Financing Lab. The event will be at 27 until 29 November 2020. It will be online, and youth from 18 years old can all attend. I don't know if you guys already 18 years old here. I don't know, but maybe you can also share it to your friends who are eligible, and you can actually contribute directly to making solutions, ideas that can help contribute to the SDGs. Yeah, maybe yeah, that's from my side. Over to you, Sasa.
Do we still have time? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I think if we talk about whether it's ambitious or not, I was reminded by a quote someone told me. If we aim for the stars, then we aim at the moon. So if we can't reach the stars, then we can just land at the moon. Like, there's never a bad thing of being ambitious on things, but the thing that I want to emphasize is, though probably some of you don't believe that it will be achieved by 2030, but at least those frames gives us hopes and gives us um, spirit to do something for our world. Like Dima always mentioned that it's not a new thing. Well, basically SDGs is not a new thing. We always been wanting for gender equality. We always been wanting for a good environment. That's a very common goals. But then by giving this SDGs as a frame, then we see what is the finish line is, and we're going to run faster. Although at the end we won't reach that finish yet, like Dima, we can always expand that. But as we see there's a finish line instead of we don't know where to go, what to do. So, well, I think, yeah, it's an ambitious agenda, but I think it's a reminder for us there's always a finish line that we want to achieve together as a citizen of the world. So I think that's on my side.
Thank you, Kasasa and Kadima, for today's very insightful talk. And thank you for all the participants as well here. And here we have a little surprise for Kadima and Kasasa. A little gift for you guys. Hope you like it.
That's so cute, guys.
Taking picture of it.
I'll take a picture of that. Can I?
Sure. But I'm sure it will be sent to you as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's all for today. Good luck for the competition. And thank you once again for Kadima and Kasasa, as well as all participants here. So I'm going to give it back to the MC.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you,
luck for the
Reina.
competition.
Distinguished delegates, let's give a round of virtual applause for the insightful talks by Miss Agnia Dima and Tirza Listiarani.
What an insightful talk, right?
That's right. And from what I've heard and also I learned from the talks, we as the youth can contribute as well for the SDGs and also for the climate. And we hope that we can make a very big, very big steps, even by doing small things.
Yeah, and let's join hands and hope to make it happen by 2030. Yeah.
We have to work together.
Okay. So once again, we would like to thank our sponsor for their generosity. And without them, this amazing event won't be happening. Thanks to Radio Q Jogja and 102 FM Prambors Radio, Indonesia #1 hits music station.
Yes, and distinguished delegates, we have arrived at the end of the opening ceremony of IREC 2020. And after this, you will be dismissed for 45 minutes for break. And don't forget to be back at your assigned Zoom room by 3:15 p.m. for re-registration.
And now, before we close this opening ceremony, please turn on your cameras and show us your brightest smile because we will be having a photo session.
That's right. We cannot show our biggest smile because we are using the mask.
Right. And we would like to invite Kak Dima and Kak Sasa to join us as well.
And now while we are waiting for our operator to taking the screenshots, maybe we can check the participants for those who haven't turned on their cams. We highly encourage you all to turn on the cam because it will be published on our social media, right?
Is everybody ready? One, two, three.
Smile.
Smile.
One, two, wait. One, two, three.
I think since we have so many participants, then the screenshots.
And that's actually very exciting, right?
Yeah.
Kenapa Bima? Aduh. Hah?
Like someday we'll be able to tell everyone that I once joined the IREC.
Smile, guys. One, two,
three.
And we highly encourage all the participants to keep the spirit because the event has already just started. And our team has already told us that they have done the screenshots photo session.
Virtual photo shoot.
Virtual photo session.
Okay, so distinguished delegates, we wish you all the best of luck because you'll be starting your wonderful journey with IREC soon. And I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chandra.
Good luck and see you at the closing ceremony of IREC 2020. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.